Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April 24th, 2018 regular meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Austining. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please remain standing for a moment of silence. Yesterday, we lost a great friend to the Austining community and schools. Dr. Paul Freed passed away yesterday after a long battle with cancer. Dr. Freed worked in the Austining School District for 19 years, 16 years as principal, and 3 years as an assistant superintendent before moving to higher positions in school districts in Montville, New Jersey, Mamaroneck, and White Plains. Dr. Freed was an advocate for so many students and a dedicated educator. He was an inspiration to the teachers and administrators in the Austining School District, and he will be sorely missed by many. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends. Please join me for a moment of silence to remember Dr. Paul Freed. Thank you. Much too soon.
Councilmember DeTore.
Present.
Councilmember Shaw.
Present.
Councilmember Wilshire.
Present.
Supervisor Levenberg.
Here.
And we'll begin this evening with a public hearing in the matter of the 2018 cabaret application for the Briarcliff Manor Restaurant and Catering Corp. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board on the matter of the public hearing?
But just regular yearly.
Just need your name.
Welcome. Nice to see you all. Perry DiNapoli from the Briarcliff Manor. And
Go ahead.
well,
go ahead.
nothing special to say other than here for our annual renewal of our cabaret license. I think we've had quite a good year with good response and good results with neighbors in terms of noise and keeping our times the way they need to be, and definitely with the bands and the quietness, definitely at the levels that it needs to be. So hopefully the petition will be granted and business as usual.
Okay, we are very appreciative of your hard work to try to appease the issues of the neighbors. And we know that you have. Did you want to say something, Christy?
Could you just briefly bring the board up to speed on the application you have before the zoning board right now?
Sure.
Just so they can be aware a little bit of what your plans are and what you're thinking for the future in the event that you were to get any approvals.
Great. Yes, we're applying to have a variance. Well, am I saying the right word?
It's technical. So
It's technical.
To back up a little bit, because they're pre-existing non-conforming use in a residential district. The building inspector has interpreted and the zoning board agreed that what they are proposing to do would be an expansion of that use that would require a use variance. So they've been before the board a few times. They're compiling more information that the zoning board had requested. But I just thought maybe you could talk a little bit. Mostly it's just an enclosure and removal of certain walls, but if you could just talk a little bit about that just so the board can understand.
Sure. In order to make the space more usable for a better purpose for the Briarcliff Manor, we propose a enclosure of the patio that exists there with a glass enclosure that will also benefit the neighbors because it'll contain the noise level that we have from that patio will now be enclosed. And as part of an offer to make the neighbors happy, the existing glass, which is now single panel around the entire back of the area, we would be agreeable to bring that all to a higher level. I'm not quite sure if it'd be double panel or triple panel, but whatever the code and everything has to be to make sure that we contain the music and the bands and the DJ noises completely inside the entire building.
Great. All right, wonderful. We wish you good stead. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else I'm legally allowed to say, but hope things go well with the zoning board, and we'll hear something, I guess, in the near future. And pleased to see that there's nobody else here to adjust the board. Okay.
I just want to tell him, it's so nice to not to have to hear the same people complaining, and I don't know how you did it or what you done, but keep doing it.
Yeah.
We work.
Nicely said.
Thank you. Thank
For
you all.
sure. And again, very appreciative. Anybody else? And we even have a neighbor on the board now, so. Yes. So great, and I think that, can I have a motion from,
That the people who just walked in, I don't know if they're here to address this
is
application.
anybody here for the public hearing, the cabaret application for the Briarcliff Manor Restaurant and Catering Corp.? Okay. So hearing no more comments, I'd like to take a motion to close this public hearing.
So move.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
They'll have a resolution on for next week. They're having a special meeting.
Okay. Thank you. So you're good. I mean, of course you can stay for our meeting. We'd love to have you, but you don't need to feel compelled to. That was it. That's pretty easy. Enjoy. Thank you.
Night. And the next item on our agenda is our announcements.
Yes, I do have a few announcements. First of all, you still have a chance if you are out there in the world and watching this live to catch a very special event tonight, Pressing On, the letterpress film at the Ossining Public Library, which started at 6:30 p.m. but will be going until 9. There's a demonstration on an antique press and an exhibition of letterpress calendars in addition to the screening of the film. And it's hosted by the Westchester Chapel, so you might want to still check that out if this meeting doesn't seem to excite you enough. I want to thank everyone that helped to make Saturday's 8th annual Earth Day Festival a smashing success. First, of course, a huge thank you to Susie Ross and all the Green Ossining volunteers for putting together such a great day for the Ossining community and beyond. Once again, thank you to the Town Parks Department staff and Foreman Mario Villardo for all of their hard work on Saturday, and especially leading up to the event in installing 3 electric car charging stations at Engle Park, Ryder Park, and Cedar Lane Park. At Saturday's event, I was joined by several of my colleagues on the town board, representatives from the village board and Sustainable Westchester, and Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff to officially cut the ribbon on the charging station at Engle Park. Somehow, I neglected to invite up our Parks guys who were staring right at me and were instrumental in getting the stations installed in time for Earth Day. So and they needed to move heaven to do so. So my sincerest apologies to all of the Parks guys, because I am so grateful for all the hard work that you did to get those stations up just in time for Earth Day so we could have our ribbon cutting that day. 80% of the costs to purchase and install all 3 charging stations were paid for by the Zero Emissions Vehicle Infrastructure Rebate Program from the New York State Department of Environmental Protection. So again, we're grateful to New York State, and that's why we had Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff there. Getting the charging stations up and running for Saturday was truly a team effort. Thank you to Mario, Victoria, and Maddie in my office, and Ron Kamen from Sustainable Westchester for bringing us to the finish line with just a few bumps in the road. We hope that these charging stations will help make it easier for you to consider purchasing an electric car, and that you come down to one of our beautiful parks to charge your car and then patronize a local restaurant or other businesses that are nearby. I actually was just up in Croton a few minutes ago, and I saw somebody driving a Leaf, and I told her that we have some charging stations. She said, well, I don't live in Austin. I said, well, you can come visit our park. So hopefully she'll do that. The charging stations are programmed to offer 3 free hours of charging and $5 per hour thereafter. Please only use the parking spaces at each charging station if you're using them to charge, and vacate the stall once your car is done charging. There will be a public hearing next week to discuss codifying this requirement into the town's vehicle and traffic law. There are a few ways you can keep the Earth Day spirit going this week. First, the Ossining documentary and discussion series will present a special Friday night showing of An Inconvenient Sequel on the evening of April 27th. The screening will begin at 6:30 p.m. and will be followed by a panel discussion, including Pace University Land Use Law Center Professor John Nolan, Director and Chairperson of the Climate Reality Project Tim Guinea, and then my fabulous counterpart Nancy Seligson, who's the town supervisor in Mamaroneck and co-chairs Sustainable Westchester. I'm looking forward to this fantastic evening at the Ossining Public Library, and I hope to see you all there. Also, this Friday, April 27th, is Arbor Day at 11 a.m. The town board invites all of you to join the community at Lewis Engle Park for our annual Arbor Day celebration. following the recommendations of Save a Tree as part of our urban forestry grant study. To bolster our tree canopy at Engle Park, we will be planting a red oak tree, a native species to our area that does well in soils along waterways like the Hudson River. We thank Donna Sharrett for her help selecting a species that would work well at the waterfront. On Saturday, April 28th, please join Ossining Schools Superintendent Ray Sanchez and myself on a walk at Teatown Lake Reservation at 10 a.m. Park in the lakeside lot right next to the main house or across the street in the overflow lot. Right now, the weather looks like it will be beautiful, so it should be a great morning for the whole family to spend in one of Ossining's most beautiful open spaces. Also this Saturday, April 28th, join me after the hike to help with our friends at the Ossining Historic Cemeteries Conservancy with their 2018 spring kickoff at Dale Cemetery, which is at 104 Havel Street. Between 9 a.m. and 12 noon, come down to learn how to clean and restore some of our community's oldest and most treasured artifacts. No experience is necessary. Just be ready to get a little soggy because you do use some water and spritz it. And for more information, email ohcc10562@gmail.com or check out the OHCC Facebook page. We're getting closer and closer to Mother's Day, and there's several opportunities to shop local for the moms and special women in your life. On Saturday, the 28th, the Ossining Public Library will host a Mother's Day artisan market in partnership with the Northeast Etsy Artists Association. Come pick up some handmade gifts for all the special women between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. A percentage of sales will go to benefit the Friends of the Ossining Public Library. Next Saturday, May 5th, from 10 to 3, St. Paul's on the Hill will hold their annual Mother's Day sale at the Lantern Gift Shop with lots of special trinkets and treasures. Stay for the tea luncheon and treat yourself to a true afternoon tea organized by the Ladies of St. Paul's from 11:30 to 2:30. Finally, mark your calendar for Teatown's annual Plant Fest on May 11th and 12th with great selections for Mother's Day gifts as well. Next weekend, there are several ways to pitch in and help clean up Ossining and help preserve some of the beautiful natural resources in our area. Saturday, May 5th is I Love My Park Day, a statewide initiative with a local event at the Old Croton Aqueduct. You can register in advance online at ptny.org, but pre-registration is not required. Join me and other volunteers along the Old Croton Aqueduct Trail on Quaker Bridge Road in Croton at 9:30 a.m. Get all the supplies you need to help clean up the trail by throwing out trash, nipping invasive plants in the bud, and restore some of the historic features of the Old Croton Aqueduct. Goodies from the Black Cow and Baked by Susan will be provided to volunteers, but be sure to bring a water bottle and lunch if you plan to stay for the whole day. Riverkeeper will also be hosting a sweep of the waterfront in Ossining between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. You can also help out Riverkeeper and join in their Stencil a Storm Drain project in the village of Ossining, making a permanent impact on keeping our waterways clean. You can learn more about that at riverkeeper.org. May 5th is Stash the Trash Day in Ossining. Stop by the Recreation Center at 95 Broadway to pick up your gloves and bags and register your location on May 4th and or 5th from 8:30 to noon. We can give you some ideas if you don't have any spots that you are targeting. We're all in this together. Hope to see you out there. Also next week will be your last opportunity to pay your town-county tax bill without penalty. If you have not already done so, our town tax receiver, Holly Perlowitz, is reminding everyone that those taxes are due by April 30th. I'm going to help her remind everybody. The tax office will be open early and late to receive your taxes this Friday, April 27th, and next Monday, April 30th. Hours on those 2 days will be from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Holly encourages taxpayers to call her office at 762-8790 if you have any questions or issues with getting your payment in on time. Thank you to all those who have already paid. And that is it for my lengthy announcements. Does anybody else have any announcements? All right. Can you just turn your microphone on, please? Thanks.
NBC New York, Telemundo 47, Stop and Shop, and local food banks are coming together for a second year for the Feeding Our Families event to help local families and to replenish non-perishable supplies to sustain important anti-hunger efforts. On Saturday, April 28th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., our very own all-volunteer-operated Ossining Food Pantry will be hosting this food collection effort at the Stop and Shop in the Arcadian Shopping Center. So if you're going to the supermarket on Saturday or just want to stop by, you can make a monetary or food donation and help make this event a success.
Yes, and if you could share that with me by email so I can put it out in my blast, that would be fantastic. Anything else?
I just want to note that the Elks Club now has Organ Groove Thursdays.
Yes, that's true.
From 7 to 10 p.m. So April 26th from 7 to 10 p.m. You can go to the Elks Club on, what's the date, the address for that? 118 Croton Avenue, and enjoy some organ groove music. Or you can go to their jazz, second Saturday jazz concert.
Right.
And this Saturday is Frank, let's see if I can say this, Pierangelo. He says, known for his jazz, funk, originals, and covers. So a lot of good music going on at the Elks Club on Croton Avenue. Always a reasonably priced event, and I've had a lot of good times there.
I think you get a meal too. Great.
That's, you can order a meal,
You can order
but it's
one.
not, you know, I think
Not
the cover's
mandatory.
about $10. So.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. All right. Fantastic. So next up we have liaison reports. Are there any? And hearing.
Well,
oh,
well,
okay. Go ahead.
all right. Well, the Ossany Boat and Canoe Club is up and running. Anybody interested in joining us on the water or coming for a tour can go on obcc.org or stop by the club any Saturday and get a free tour and come on down and enjoy the Hudson River.
And our docks, our town docks are installed.
Town docks are in and beautifully
Looking
restored.
Fantastically restored. Thanks again to our parks guys.
Yes.
Also, can I just borrow that? The Village of Ossining Fire Department is hosting their annual
Memorial Day.
communion breakfast at Marino Fathers, and I don't think that this whole thing is open, but I think the service may be open to everybody. So if you're interested in the service, I think it starts at 8 a.m. at Marino, and they have services for all denominations, Catholics and non-Catholics. If you are interested in joining, the date is Sunday, May 27th. Actually, there's a lineup outside the parking lot at 7:30 a.m. And then after the service and breakfast, they go to the 3 cemeteries in the village and town, starting with the Congregation Sons of Israel Cemetery on Havel Street, then followed by Dale Cemetery, and finally St. Augustine's on Hawks Avenue. So that's just good information to share as well. All right. Next up,
Departmental reports.
we don't have any.
Public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board on any agenda items this evening? No?
All right.
We'll move into town board resolutions.
Okay.
Approval of minutes of a regular meeting. Resolve the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the April 10th, 2018 minutes of the regular meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Letter B, approval of minutes, special meeting. Resolve the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the April 17th, 2018 minutes of the special meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Approval of voucher detail report. Resolve that the town board hereby approves a voucher detail report dated April 24th, 2018 in the amount of $440,725.39. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
sorry.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Tax certiorari Thomas Carucci versus Town of Ossining, whereas proceedings pursuant to Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law of the State of New York were instituted by Thomas Carucci against the Town of Ossining to review the tax assessments made on petitioner's property located at 173 Chappaqua Road, Town of Ossining, and designated on the tax assessment map of the Town of Ossining as Section 90.18, Block 2, Lot 91, for tax assessment years 2010 through 2014, which proceedings are now pending in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Westchester, under index number 25522-10, 15706-11, 66901-12, 66164-13, 6696-14, and whereas the above petitioner has agreed to a compromise and settlement of such proceedings subject to the approval of the town board correcting and reducing the assessed valuation of its real property and improvements as follows. Resolved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, that the assessor is authorized and directed to make the changes and corrections to the individual unit assessment on the tax assessment roll of the town of Ossining, which will be ordered pursuant to the consent judgment to be entered into in accordance with the terms of the settlement, and the receiver of taxes is authorized and directed to process and pay the refund of town of Ossining taxes estimated to be $1,016.63, which will be ordered pursuant to said consent judgment.
All those in favor? Oh, do I have a motion? I don't
So
think I
moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll just say that the portions of the resolution that weren't read are available on the agenda. That's made available to the public here tonight and also on the town's website.
And in the town clerk's office.
Right, and we'll be
And in the town clerk's
and
office.
we'll be posted in the minutes.
All right, letter E, tax certiorari Jean Pierre and Franca Carreri versus Town of Ossining, whereas proceedings pursuant to Article 7 of the Real Property Tax Law of the State of New York were instituted by Jean Pierre and Franca Carreri against the Town of Ossining to review tax assessment made on petitioner's property located at 65 South Highland Avenue, Town of Ossining, and designated on the tax assessment map of the Town of Ossining as Section 97.07-6-71 for tax assessment years 2014 through 2016, which proceedings are now pending in the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Westchester, under index number 66111-14, 66573-15, and 64357-16, and whereas the above petitioner has agreed to a compromise and settlement of such proceedings, subject to the approval of the town board, correcting and reducing the assessed valuation of its real property and improvements as follows. Resolved, subject to the approval of the Supreme Court, Westchester County, that the assessor is authorized and directed to make the changes and corrections to the individual unit assessment on the tax assessment roll of the Town of Ossining, which will be ordered pursuant to the consent judgment to be entered in accordance with the terms of the settlement, and the receiver of taxes authorized and directed to process and pay the refund of the Town of Ossining taxes estimated to be $145.68, which will be ordered pursuant to said consent judgment.
So moved.
Sorry, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Just reminded me.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Letter F, Personnel Tax, Town Tax Office Seasonal Appointment. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby appoints Martha Quintisaka Ossining to the seasonal position of Intermediate Clerk in the Town Tax Office effective April 25th, 2018 at a rate of $13 per hour.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So as our town tax season is underway, our receiver of taxes, Holly Perlowitz, is bringing a seasonal intermediate clerk on board to help out, although she'll probably be more helpful with the school taxes. Martha Quitasaka is an Ossining High School graduate and working on her master's degree in public administration at John Jay College. She is sure to be a great addition to the tax office team. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And with that, I think we're going to go to visitor recognition. Yes,
Is there anyone here who wishes to address the board on visitor recognition?
on any item
Any items?
whatsoever. This is your moment, folks. You wanted to talk to us about something. Come on up.
Hello,
Hi, please
my
introduce
name's
yourself.
Eric Lohman. I live on McCarthy Drive. I've been to a few work sessions. This is the first public hearing, which normally we don't get to talk at work sessions. I'm basically here to complain about, I'm happy that McCarthy Drive is going to be a dedicated road, since we were Mitch anyway, and a few other people who were part of the McCarthy Drive Association that originally designed and paved the road that's there now. But that was 30 years ago or more. After the first meeting we were here, we found out it was dedicated. We met with the town engineer, or the village engineer, I guess. I don't know which one it is. Mostly it's village, not town. And we talked to him afterwards, and the results were not satisfactory. Let's just say it that way. I'm not sure why, but it's not satisfactory. He just kept going to the town standards about the width of the road is mostly what we're complaining about. And, well, the width of the road is mostly what we're complaining about. And curbs, of course. I know I'm not in favor of curbs. That was decided a long time ago, 30 more years ago. The width of the road was decided at that time. And the last meeting I was here at the work session, it came out to be that an engineer has been put on board. He was given these, the scope of work to be 28 feet wide, curbs, blah, blah, blah. No problem with the water main. It was originally probably installed improperly, but no problem with new water main. Drainage, I'm only really referring to the piece that's paved now. At the end of the McCarthy Drive, that's another story and it needs to be addressed. But so I'm asking the board to maybe we could have a meeting so the citizens or myself and can sit down and have a normal discussion about what we can do to save the town of Ossining money, because if you're giving direction to a consultant, he can spend money like water, since I used to be one. So that's what I'm asking the town board to do, is to have a meeting with us or the residents on McCarthy Drive, set it up so, and maybe the town engineer can be involved. I mean, you know, just that. So thank you for
Okay,
the
thank you.
consideration.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Yonkler, 30 McCarthy Drive. I want to thank you for finally getting to the road. I do appreciate that very much. I have a little bit different concern. Mine is the end of McCarthy Drive where there's a group home, which is fine. However, the problem there is, how are people turning around? Right now, when they turn around, they back into my driveway and turn around. That has been unacceptable for the past few years, but I live with that. But I'm very happy the rest of the road will be paved. However, I understand from the engineering firm that there's going to be some sort of hammer turn or something like that there, which I don't understand how that works. Usually there's a cul-de-sac where people can just swing around. If people are going to do a hammer turn, it means they do a K-turn or something like that. You're going to hear the beeping every time someone backs up in the middle of the night, and there's a lot of cars and vans that do come down that road to service the group home. So that could be disturbing. So I don't know what that turn is around there. I don't see where they're going to do that. And I'd like to see it. So I'm echoing what Eric said as far as I'd like to see the plan. I'd like to see where the road goes. I want to see where my new property line will be and all that. And I'm sure everybody else would like to see how their property will be affected. So if we can meet with them, that would be wonderful. Okay, I thank you for your time.
Anybody else here to address the board on anything whatsoever? Because following this, we're going to be adjourning into executive session. So if you have any issue that you are here to talk to us about, now would be the time.
Hi, I'm Bob Casey. I'm from 17 McCarthy Drive. I'm just looking at, I just got this today, and I'm looking at the, you're looking at a 40% increase in the size of the road, and I just really don't see any need for it. I mean, we don't have like tractor trailers every day coming up and down a road. It's basically a private drive, and I just kind of think it's going to probably take away from the aesthetic appeal of the neighborhood as well. That's about it.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, no, maybe? Going once? Going twice? Okay, I will take a motion to adjourn this meeting into executive session for advice of counsel and legal procedure.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, everybody, we will have a great night. We will see you next week for a work session, and we also have a special meeting, and we will be back here at 16 Croton Avenue. Enjoy your evening.